Uzi features on Ken and Lone, or so technically Uzi hasn't featured on a Lone song just yet, I don't think, but Lone and Ken were on the song too, so it's like kind of both.
So all three of them have been in a song.
So yeah, Uzi, Ken, and Lone have all been in a song before Carti. Thoughts?
Hold on. So you're telling me that Destroy Lonely, Ken Carson, and Uzi were on a song together already?
Yep.
In one song.
On Ken Carson's album.
So Uzi has been on Ken Carson's stuff once.
Yes, and he brought them out on stage with him in like Korea or something. And Carti has done that since. And he was even at Ken Carson's release party for his album. But just overall, Uzi's like, I think before Pink Tape, there was a vlog with Montreality maybe. And Ken and Lone were there too for his release party. Carti was nowhere to be seen.
Damn, so is Uzi getting pimped out by Carti or what? What are your thoughts?
I think, in a way, Uzi's getting cucked right now.
Is he getting cucked or is Carti just pimping, his guys out? Because it would be cucked if,
Well, pimping in a way would say Ken and Lone are helping Uzi, right?
No.
Like they're providing a service, like they're pimping them out. If it was pimping out, it would be like Carti is pimping out his relationship with Uzi to Ken and Lone.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what
okay, so yes.
Yeah, honestly, because I don't know what Carti has done for Uzi since. I mean, Uzi with these guys is a big look, but I also feel like on top of that, it's kind of a spit in the face where it's like, it's kind of putting Uzi beneath him, whether it's intentional or not. He's like, hey, you're with my artist before I give my artist a feature.
I agree.
So like, I'm the pinnacle. Yeah. We haven't reached the top of the pyramid. We haven't reached the apex predator yet. We're on like the third level, the fourth level.
Right.
And they've got to get to you first, and then they can get to me, which is the top level.
Right. He's like the final boss. Yeah, it's so weird because, and look, everyone watching this, I'm not disrespecting Uzi. It's just like analysis. But Uzi also featured on Sofago's album before Travis Scott.
Yeah, but that's an understandable Uzi.
How?
A little. Uzi's ranked under Travis Scott for sure in terms of clout popularity. I think the difference is Uzi at one point was significantly more popular than Carti.
Right.
And then they kind of like
Travis, he started out, he was already popping before Uzi.
To a degree, yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was.
Like he came out like 2012.
Yeah, but he's like leagues above Uzi now. Several leagues. Popularity, clout, shows, everything.
Commercial.
But Uzi and Carti, they're kind of like coexisting, right? It's kind of like, for example, like Uzi and Carti is like Travis and Young Thug. Now, Travis is way bigger than Young Thug, but when Travis and Young Thug, they went on tour, they did Pick Up the Phone together, they did all these songs together,
they had number ones together. Was Pick Up the Phone number one?
Nah, it actually was a sleeper hit. It didn't blow up until like way later.
Oh, okay.
Or like over time, it went up.
Yeah.
So they were like together. You see them as a unit. Not as much anymore, but that was a thing at one point in time. And that's like Uzi and Carti. So I don't think it's necessarily bad that Uzi was with Sofago. That makes more sense because there's like the whole Pink thing. I do think Sofago benefited from it a lot, but Uzi's known to give smaller artist features. Like he gave
like he's like the
Corvette guy a feature.
He's a stepfather in like the underground space.
Yeah.
I kind of think Trippie Redd wanted to be on that too.
On that album?
No, like featuring on or like giving looks to these artists, but it's just weird how like some people are perceived one way in their cosign, and then other people when they cosign the same person, like say Drake, he just cosigned Ken Carson on his Instagram story. And then everyone's like, no, keep him away. And it's like, he's the biggest artist in the world. Why wouldn't you want that collab or like something?
Yeah, but I think that audience thinks Drake is like corny or lame.
Yeah.
Or they think Drake's fans are corny and lame, and they're like, yo, this is our thing. We want it to be like underground. I think that's why like Suicide Boys are so lit, because they've never had that look, so their fans are like, yo, these are our guys.
So what you're saying is like credibility-wise, it's good to never go mainstream.
No, like I think your audience is more rabid. your
if you
core
stay away.
fans are more rabid the longer you're not mainstream.
So why didn't they say anything about Carti doing Pain 1993, doing a pop song with The Weeknd and the Madonna?
I totally forgot about that shit.
I actually love those songs, but even though
Pain 1993, I remember, but
Yeah.
that other song, I totally forgot that even happened.
yeah,
I think it's maybe they wanted him to catch up to Uzi at that time because he was below Uzi at that point.
who's they?
The fans, because there's like I feel like everyone at one point in time that either is more on Carti's side now or on Uzi's side now liked both.
Right, they were like a duo.
Yeah, and then they just leaned more so to one side, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I like this guy."
I was
more.
a bigger Uzi guy before.
Yeah, I'm still a Uzi guy.
I found Carti from Uzi.
I found them independently of each other, but I like them together a lot. I don't think we're ever gonna see the project with them.
Oh no,
That's never.
I don't think. See, that's why I think I know Carti. I don't know the ins and outs of their relationship, but like what I told you earlier, Carti pulled his feature from Pink Tape 3 days before. Like I just feel like in general, his interactions with Uzi. If I was Uzi, yes, you want the 1629 collab because you know it's like a guaranteed hit. But at the same time, just like a respect thing of yourself, like dignity. I just wouldn't put up with that.
Do you think that Uzi is kind of not oblivious, but
he
he's
knows.
just he doesn't know what's going on? Do you think he's
Nah,
just
I'm
like,
sure he
man, I'm
knows.
just doing him a favor? Or like, for example, when he pulls his feature, do you think he's like, fuck, that sucks, but like he got me later? Or do you think like he's upset by that?
So, I mean, from what I heard, and take this with a grain of salt, of course. But
I didn't hear anything.
I already talked about it on the stream, but like he did get mad, and like what? Again, if you're dropping an album, the reason was because Carti was on like the baby voice shit, and then now he's doing more low voice, so it's not cohesive with his brand. And you do have to give it to Carti; he's just on point with his brand at all times.
Yeah.
So I get it, but you can't hit up your boy that you grew with 3 days before their album and be like, yeah, no, we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of cold. I'm not gonna lie.
But anyway, so I think it's more of like regarding the Ken Carson, Destroy Lonely, Uzi being more involved in their careers than Carti. Like I feel like even though Uzi's still bigger than Carti, I feel like long term, and Uzi has way bigger hits, so maybe his royalties would be higher just long term. But Carti's like solidifying his career even outside of being an artist. And the label part, where Uzi has not really started. I think he's signed a couple producers at this point, but he's kind of letting that slide, you know? Like he's kind of fucking himself over in that way. Like he could have, if he started a label in 2018, 2019, co-signed an artist, they'd be booming right now.
Yeah, but maybe Uzi's number one, not necessarily selfish and doesn't want to.
I don't think he's selfish at all.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to put an artist underneath him that he knows he can't deliver on. So, for example, like Uzi's way more social in the industry than Carti. Like, I think he's like a happier guy. He's around everyone all the time. I think Carti genuinely doesn't want to be around people. Is better off, enjoys staying at one location for extended periods of time. And that's conducive for a guy that can build a label and work with. Because, like, I know some people that work directly with Carti, not on any music stuff, but like stuff for his label. And they're like, yeah, he's very involved when
With their careers,
when
their
it comes
aesthetic.
to everything with the label. And that's a whole nother job. And I think Uzi just enjoys the lifestyle of being an artist more than the label side of it and curating other artists. And maybe I think why he gave them the features and didn't pull the features is because Uzi could have pulled it. I think Uzi's maybe actually close to these guys and like likes them. And he's like, man, you know, like I'm not going to harm or penalize you guys for what this guy did to me. Like that would be kind of like lame of me. So I think he just let it rock.
At the same time, too, I feel like Uzi might also know how Carti goes, like how he treats his brand and music. And so he's understanding, maybe maybe he's mad at one point, but then he understands because like Carti was supposed to be on Offset's album, but then that dropped on the same day as Ken, and he did not clear that feature, and so Offset talked about it on some other podcast. I think it was like some Drink Champs or something, and Offset was just like, "Yeah, I know how he is," that kind of thing. So maybe Uzi feels the same way.
Don't you think it's better though for ideal situation, right? If I'm quarterbacking, I'm putting the play out. I'd rather Uzi and Carti have a single together than Carti just appear on an Uzi album, because that's more of a big moment. Like obviously the tape or the project is not going to happen, but a single with both of them are like, hey, we're coming together for this song, that has way more of an impact than just being a single or just being another track on an album or project.
Well, so yes, in some cases, like if he was a female artist, like where they push singles a lot, but I feel like a lot of male artists are like, yes, the single might get more streams and more impact by itself than if it was on a project, but I feel like in the hip hop industry, they want to sell their album because that's where, like, overall they'll get more streams on the project. You get what I'm saying? Like the net positive will be greater on the album. Like Carti was on Travis Scott's album Fiend. The song was Fiend on Utopia. And then that song, that was not a single, and it's one of the highest performing songs now, competing with like the Drake one, the Bad Bunny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he performs, they both performed that, and it has a huge impact. So
I think kind of like the reasoning why I came to that conclusion is if you look at the hype that the Trippy song with Carti had. And that was a big splash.
They kind of fumbled that though.
Yeah, they did. But even with the fumbling, it was a big song. And a bunch of people still listen to that song or go back to that song.
It wasn't a single though, was it? It was a music video too.
Yeah, and they look back on it favorably.
But that was like a big snippet. But I get what you're saying. Like if Uzi and Carti previewed a snippet, like that would go crazy. Yeah. I think if Carti did, even with his artist though, that would go crazy. Maybe not as big as Uzi though.
And then maybe it can be released on the project.
Yeah.
So that's another angle.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, man. It's just, I still think Uzi's getting cucked a little bit.
Yeah, honestly, it's, I
mean, I respect
overall,
it.
Like, if I was Uzi, I would feel hurt by this.
Yeah.
I'd be like, damn, man, like, come on. Now, if you're Uzi, would you pull that track? I'm pulling that track. Sorry, Ken and Destroy Lonely.
I mean, again, it has to do with them, not necessarily Carti. So if he has a good relationship with them, which it does seem like he does, then yeah. But it is going into the pocket of Carti. I feel like Uzi needs to get something more long-term. Even though, again, he's probably living good off of his royalties regardless. But like Opium now is huge, right?
I mean, I'm just looking at it like, yo, I'm juicing these guys. The worst thing, if I'm Uzi, and this is just how I think, the worst thing that could happen to me is Playboi Carti not only comes behind me and now becomes bigger than me, which I still don't think is the case. Pause, yeah. Which I still don't think is the case. But let's say that happens, but one of his artists gets to my level. That's just a nightmare.
Yeah, because then he's underneath Carti.
Yeah.
So even if Carti doesn't drop any music, like just by the logic of it, Carti's above him now.
Yeah. And his artist is above him. He's like, my sons are now above
I don't know if they're going to get to his level, though.
I don't think so. I like that Destroy Lonely album, honestly.
Uzi, back in the day, was like, I think he was running shit.
But how long are we going to talk about back in the day?
I know.
I mean, these two guys are running stuff right now.
I don't think they're running shit the same level, though. Nah.
No, not to the same level, but we have to like adjust, right?
Yeah, because
who's more lit than those two right now?
Yeet.
Yeah, but Yeet's been in the game.
Ken started before Yeet, or at least like started bubbling. Yale came out in the first promo on like academics pages was
Yeah, but like Yeet broke through, so he's not even in their class anymore. Like Sofago's still in their class. And they lapped him.
canceled 45, 40, 45. I feel like that's like going mainstream.
I mean,
Wink, wink.
yeah. I mean, can't argue.
And
that.
like technically, I know Yeet just got the potentially #1, but like his last album sold 52K.
Number two.
Well, #1 globally.
We'll get into that after this.
But so that's in the same ballpark. 40 to 45 is like pretty close to 52, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeet's beating Offset though.
Is he? No, Offset's about to do 75.
What? I thought he was projected to sell like 50.
Nah, look it up. I think it might be 85 now.
Man, they saw that Ken Carson was outstreaming him. They're like, oh, we need to push these.
They pushed the Trump red button. They're like, push the bot button.
Yeah. Oh my God. Because that would be embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no, of course. I think they just wanted a fatter lead.